This video is going to focus on tornadoes. We're going to talk about how they form, where they form, and how and if we can forecast them or try to predict where they'll happen. With tornadoes, these are probably our quickest, really severe type of storm. Most tornadoes only last for a matter of seconds or a few minutes. Other storms like hurricanes will last for hours and days. Tornadoes are usually done in less than 5 minutes. But a tornado is just a really rapidly rotating column of air that we call a vortex. Like all of our other forms of really severe weather, it's going to form from a cumulonimbus cloud. That cloud of vertical development that's so tall it goes from low to high altitudes in our troposphere. In the middle of this vortex, it's all low pressure. It's rising air. But this rotating vortex is spinning about 300 miles per hour, so it has crazy intense winds associated with it. And it's capable of producing severe destruction, even though it's only around for a short period of time. We're only going to form tornadoes when we have really severe thunderstorms, because we need those updrafts in our thunderstorms to interact with our tropospheric winds, the winds that are moving through our upper atmosphere. Once these interact, we can have our tornado developing. But typically this interaction can really only occur between April and June. So we have a time frame that we can expect tornadoes to form here in the United States. But we also know roughly where they're likely to happen, and we call this Tornado Alley. You can see it in the image. Most of our tornadoes are forming in the Midwest, even though we also have some here in Florida as well. In the last 20 years or so, there are about 1,200 tornadoes in the United States, and it averages out to just a little bit more than 60 per year. The typical tornado is less than a mile wide, and it moves across the surface at about 30 miles per hour. But these are typically short duration storms, so they don't last for very long. Even though they're fairly wide, they're only going to cover a short distance on the land, so typically it's less than 6 miles long in its path of destruction. But even though it's only moving across the surface at about 30 miles per hour, the winds itself max out at about 310 miles per hour. And we want to be able to measure the intensity of the tornadoes, and we do this with the Fujita Intensity Scale, or we abbreviate it as the EF scale. In 2011, I had a personal experience with a tornado when I was an undergrad at the University of Alabama. In April, we had an EF5 tornado move through and come within just a few blocks of campus. I was in my second floor apartment when suddenly the entire roof was blown off, and it was one of the most surreal experiences of my entire life. This tornado had jumped over my block, and everything else for 6 square miles was utterly destroyed. Tornadoes are incredibly intense when they happen, but thankfully they're very short duration. If you're ever near a tornado, it will be over soon. A major disadvantage, though, is that it's incredibly difficult to forecast a tornado. We can say that the conditions are right that a tornado can form, but unlike a hurricane where we have days' notice, with tornadoes we might only have a few seconds or a couple minutes notice before it hits our area. So in order to help alert the public to stay safe, we have tornado watches and tornado warnings. And these can get a little bit confusing because they're so similar in name. But with a tornado watch, this is just telling the public that there's a possibility that tornadoes could form. All of the conditions are there. We have that warm, moist air with updrafts, a cumulonimbus cloud, interacting with tropospheric winds. Everything is working, so a tornado could possibly form. But on the other hand, we also have a tornado warning. This is an alert used to tell the public there is a tornado. Someone has either seen this tornado on the ground or they found it on the Doppler radar. So a lot of people get confused by this, and I really like this really simple diagram that I found. The difference between a taco watch and a taco warning. I don't know about y'all, but I love tacos, especially on a bad day. So with a taco watch, that would be like someone telling me, watch out, I have everything ready to make tacos. With a tornado watch, I know that tacos are probably coming within a few minutes. I can prepare, I can go wash my hands and be ready to eat. A taco warning, though, would be someone saying, we have tacos. They are already formed, they're here, and they are ready to go. So please try to remember the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. Tornado watch, the conditions are ready, it can form at any second. A tornado warning, on the other hand, is a tornado is here, we have seen it, take caution.